XRP in the Great Financial Reset. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down some keywords that Larry Fink is saying. The top asset manager in the world. You have to pay attention. This year is going to be so unbelievably critical. I know we're super excited about crypto and all the hype and everybody becoming millionaires in crypto, but we have to pay attention what's happening in microeconomics. My name is Coach JB. What I work to do is make the very complex macro and microeconomic strategies very simple so the normal everyday person can implement them. We have 3 free resources for you. Number 1 is a free consultation with my licensed insurance team to teach you how we protect, compound, and grow our wealth in these volatile times. Number 2 is a 16-page guide on exactly my blueprint, absolutely free. And number 3, you can jump right into our academy. So that's all in the description of this video or in my bio. So as we dive into this video today, I want you to take a deep breath. You have to get grounded. It's about to get volatile. It's about to get confusing. There's going to be a lot of distractions. And as you look this way, there's always another narrative going on this way. So in today's video, we're going to watch the hype around the Bitcoin ETF, but I want you to pay attention to what Larry Fink says. Since 2020, I've been sharing with you guys the Great Financial Reset is here. But it's not what you think. There's a massive transition happening globally. So we have to really pay attention to what's happening with Bitcoin and the market. So let's dive right in. All right. So first thing we're going to watch is we're going to watch a video around Larry Fink talking about the Bitcoin ETF approvals. But we're not going to focus on the Bitcoin ETF approval. We're going to listen to the words he says. So I'll narrate through this. There's some key things that he says that I want you to pay attention to. Larry Fink said that Bitcoin now is a flight to safety. Remember, guys, years ago, he called it for money laundering. He admits in both of these videos that now it's here to stay. But you have to listen to what he's saying about the American economy. Remember, Larry Fink is a CEO of the largest asset manager in the world. He's on the board of trustees for the World Economic Forum, and his mission is to move the mission forward of the World Economic Forum. But now he's starting to kind of doubt America. So pay attention to what he says.
Bitcoin, the Bitcoin ETF. We're going to be talking to Gary Gensler, the chair of the SEC, who made that decision reluctantly, maybe even begrudgingly, which was announced just 2 days ago, and we talked a lot about yesterday on the broadcast. How big a deal is that for BlackRock? And this was for you a big switch as well, because you were a naysayer for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I probably switched for the first 3 years of thinking about it. I was a naysayer, and about 2 years ago, I switched. And I'm actually, you know, as I said in the last 2 years, I'm a big believer.
Are you a believer personally? Meaning, is the Fink family a Bitcoin buyer or a buyer of this new ETF?
Well, now I could do that. I cannot, you know, I don't want to compete with our clients, so I don't buy single assets. I'll buy mutual funds. I'll buy single ETFs. So I have an opportunity to do that now.
Okay, so now he has an opportunity to have access to it. I want you to think about this. He said about 2 to 3 years ago, his narrative changed, guys. 2020, 2021, 2022. His narrative changed after they printed tons of money. And now he's calling it a flight to safety. He's giving us really, really clear hints on where the money flows are going.
But I'm a believer in it because I do believe it is an alternative source for wealth holding. I don't believe it's ever going to be a currency. I believe it's an asset class.
You don't believe it ever becomes a currency?
No, I think we're going to create digital currencies. We're going to use the technology for it. We're going to use the blockchain.
How important is that, though, to then the long-term value proposition?
Okay, so that's what I want you to hear. He says, no, it's not going to be currency. Why would you use Bitcoin as a currency? But it is acting like a store of value. But this store of value is completely different, right? There's a fixed supply. 70% of the supply has not moved. And every single 4 years, it becomes more scarce. It's really interesting, but we have to really pay attention to what's happening here. Okay, so now Larry Fink, the largest asset manager in the world, went from it's used for money laundering to a flight to safety. Now they have the Bitcoin ETF. Gary Gensler approved the Bitcoin ETF, but says, I still don't believe in it. Isn't that really interesting? Why would the SEC approve a Bitcoin ETF, but still not believe in it? We have to really pay attention to the silver lining here. Now we're going to watch another video where Larry Fink's being interviewed, and I want you to listen to what he says around cryptocurrency and America specifically, okay? What he thinks about what's happening in America.
Let's get to Bitcoin, because
Sure.
this is a huge thing. I mean, I see it as The minute Larry Fink put his imprimatur on this
Yes.
thing, it was going to go through. You don't have to take credit for it, but
I
you
don't-
can. Is it you that pushed this? Because Gensler hates it. I mean, they were dragging their feet on this thing for years.
There are still a lot of people hate it. So
Well, Gensler still hates it, apparently.
So
So think about that. Gary Gensler hates it. Why would they approve it? If you hate it and you're the head of the SEC and you're here to protect investors, why would you approve it? So we have to really decipher what's going on here.
I'm not going to talk about Gary, but I did believe, and it still remains, and this is Gary's position,
Right.
that it's still one of the vehicles for illicit activity. So I think no one can deny that. Where I came around to it, and I came around.
That's the part that's so interesting to me. He still believes it's used for illicit activities. Elizabeth Warren thinks it's used for illicit activities. SEC thinks it's used for illicit activities, but they approved it. And it's a flight to safety. There's something going on, guys. We're being played somehow. So we really got to be diversified. We really got to pay attention, and we got to make sure that we pull profits. You have to make sure that you pull profits.
Around to a different interpretation 3 years ago, that there's a lot of merit to it. There's a lot of opportunity. It is a great store, and this is where you can debate. Is it a good store?
But you know how it's made. A bunch of computers figure out
But
math
there's
problems.
but the issue is if people believe that it can be an asset that can be cross-border.
Right.
And let's be clear, if you're in a country where you're fearful of your government.
Listen to this. If you're in a country where you're fearful of your government, listen to what he's about to say.
And maybe this is one of the reasons why China has banned it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a government where you're...
And why do you think America wants to ban it? Why Elizabeth Warren wants to ban it? Why Jamie Dimon wants to ban it? And tomorrow I'm going to show you a video around Jamie Dimon. He's not too confident about this economy either.
If you're in a country where you're fearful of your future, fearful of your government, or you're frightened that your government is devaluing its currency by too much deficits.
Okay, so that's what I want you to hear. This is the largest asset manager in the world who was tapped by the Federal Reserve in the financial collapse of 2006 to 2007. And he was also tapped in 2020 to balance out the markets. So do you think maybe Larry Fink has some insight to what's happening in America in our financial system? And now he flipped the script that it's a flight to safety. And he says, hey, the reason why people are flying to Bitcoin, a flight to safety, is when people start to lose faith in their government, they're overspending. And that's why China banned it, because people couldn't escape to Bitcoin. This is a really, really delicate balance. They're giving you hints on something happening within the American economy.
Like us.
I'm not going to go there.
The little elephant in the room.
Yeah.
You see that? He's like us, like America. He's like, I'm not going to go there. He has insight, guys. So let's dive into this a little bit. So what I want to share with you guys, how important it is to pay attention to the narrative and the money flows. I know we want to get super excited about the Bitcoin halving. We got the Bitcoin ETF being approved. Yes, Bitcoin crypto is going to go parabolic. I highly, well, let me say what I'm doing. Here's exactly what I'm doing. I have an extremely strict exit plan. I'll show you. I'm going to show you what I'm doing to the T. Okay. So an exit plan is key in these markets. When crypto starts to go up, you need to make sure you pull out of crypto. And what I do is I ladder out on the way up. And what I'm doing is securing my index universal life, precious metals, real estate, business, things that are tangible that I can hold on to. Now, the important thing to understand is when the market gets very, very hypey, you got to understand about 30% before the top, they're going to pull. Think about this. You're an asset manager. Your job is to make your clients money. You have to be ready for that. So what I would recommend is basically setting up an exit strategy. And as it goes up, you're pulling profits on the way out. So let's recap what we just talked about. So Larry Fink, the largest asset manager in the world, who was tapped by the Federal Reserve twice in the financial collapse from 2006 to 2007. Bitcoin's inception was in 2009 when the BRICS countries were created. Brazil, India, Russia, and China, and South Africa. They were working to de-dollarize. And then again, during the pandemic, BlackRock was tapped to balance out the Federal Reserve. And now Larry Fink is bought into Bitcoin. Is bought into Bitcoin now, and it's a flight to safety. And did you hear what he just said? He said, hey, look, guys, when people don't believe in their government, they're going to go to a flight to safety. And when he joked about America, he said, I'm not going there. So we have to really, really pay attention to what's happening. We're walking a delicate tightrope as this economy shifts to an even playing field, blockchain technology, on-demand liquidity. So I just want you guys to pay attention. And tomorrow I'm going to show you a video around Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon talking about the economy. So I'm preparing preparing. This is our Super Bowl family. So I want to share with you guys, Merlin, this is the smartest way to track your crypto. This is the actual inside of it here. If you see right here, if you look at XRP, you can edit your exit strategy. Once you set up your exit strategy, it's going to show you exactly how much you're going to profit, how much you need to pay Uncle Sam, right, based on your tax rate. So if I was to pull 2 million in profit, I'd have to pay 536,000. So this helps you not only know what the tax implications are going to be, but it helps you exit the markets properly. So all you guys can get 30 days for free by clicking the description down below. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. As we always say, Warriors, rise, get your shit together. We'll see you tomorrow.